Today we will be talking about To Kill a Mockingbird and Places in the Heart.
Big picture similarities would be how... Abby?
Well, let's see. The tornado definitely had to be a big emotional state for the whole entire town. Because, well, I mean, the tornado brought so much damage that it was just kind of unbearable.
And it really showed the character of people, as well as, even though the dog wasn't as big of an issue, it still brought out people's true character on certain things. And really showed who they really cared for in those difficult situations.
And the kids found something out about their father, that he's one-shot Finch.
Yes, and I really think that the tornado scene also brought out Will's big part in taking care of Possum and Frank as well.
Yes.
Especially Possum, with helping her get out of the room with the broken wall and window.
That was a very intense scene.
Very. Now we're going to move on to detailed people similarities. So first off, we'll start with Will, and I think he's more like Calpurnia in most of the situations, because he really took care of Possum, like Calpurnia did with Scout when the mad dog came around, and when the window broke and the wall breaks. I think he really took care of her in that way and took that parenting role like Calpurnia did with Scout a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then...
Possum definitely was like Scout when Scout was hiding behind the screen door and kind of shielded herself and hid herself from the dog, and Possum hid herself from the tornado by hiding up in her attic bedroom, playroom thing.
Yeah, and I think just their connection together, their relationship really showed a lot of Calpurnia and Scout and how they relate to each other and act as a parenting role to each other.
So we related Frank to Atticus, how Atticus leaves his work to come take care of the dog situation. Frank leaves the school to join his family back at home.
That was very scary. I thought he was going to be locked out of that little cellar place.
There was a lot of suspense in that scene.
Yes.
We related Edna to Hecate because she tries to take care of the situation, but ends up having to have Moses take care of it because he's the one who's able to. How Hecate is able to hand the situation over to Atticus to shoot the dog.
Yeah, because, like, Edna, she really wanted to reach Frank, and she ran out to try to help, but obviously Moses already got to him, and it was very intense for that part, but that's just like how when Hecate was helping Atticus, really, he had to hand over the gun to Atticus to help him, because he only really had one shot, and
he knew it was Atticus who was the one who could do it.
Yeah, because Hecate says, like, it's too far away, I could miss.
This is a one-shot job.
Yeah.
This is your...
So, they really needed to make sure that he could get to him fast enough.
Okay, so now we'll be talking about Moses, and we wanted to leave him separately all by himself only because he has such a big role, and not only because he plays a certain part in how he directly is associated with To Kill a Mockingbird, but he really is similar to a lot of the characters in Place in the Heart. So we said he was a lot like Atticus because he really tries to take control of the situation, like Atticus with the dog and making sure that everyone's safe, but he also gets Frank safe. And so also one similarity that you caught was the glasses. Could you explain that?
And To Kill a Mockingbird, Atticus, when he is about to shoot the dog, right before he does, he drops his glasses on the ground and they break. We related this to when Moses tells Edna to leave the horse and run to save herself, because we thought that this was kind of showing that the characters decided that they could just leave the unimportant things, and focus on what was the most important, saving themselves.
Yeah, and really taking control of the situation. I also think, part of the whole keeping people safe thing, I think he's a lot like Cal also, because Cal and Atticus both took those situations in To Kill a Mockingbird, but Moses really takes bigger control in Places in the Heart than I think anyone else. Also, he was like Zebo, because in the end, how in the movie in Places of the Heart, he goes after the tornado and he goes and fixes the shutters and helps to clean up a little bit. And that's what Zebo does when he takes care of the dog, and because Atticus tells him to take away the dog, and so he does that, and that's sort of like how Moses cleans up after the situation that's happened. And then he's a lot like Jim, also.
Jim notices the storm. Jim notices the dog, and he's the one who tells Calpurnia and lets her know what's going on. And we related that to Frank when he
lets Edna know about the storm. And so he really just takes in that role of letting people know what's going on and making sure that people were safe. A lot like Calpurnia, but really I just think Moses takes the leader role in this whole situation a lot. And I think a lot of people were thankful for that, especially.
The tornado definitely had to be it was suspenseful, for one, because, it's so dangerous, and anything could happen. There could be houses missed, and the house next to it completely gone.
Almost everyone was in danger in
Yeah.
the movie. Whereas in the dog scene, everyone was inside and the dog was outside, so the danger was less, and the mood was different in both of the stories. For the tornado, everyone was still devastated after and before and during. Whereas for the dog scene, there was a bit of suspense during the dog's appearance, but after the dog was shot, the mood came back and everyone was much happier at the end.
Yeah, I would definitely have to say that the aftermath was completely different, because tornado, there was so much damage done, and even somebody died, but with the mad dog, after that dog died, it was just, there was no damage done.
Just a family without a dog, and it really only affected the family when they got to find out new things.